Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Advocate Information Highway. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a very interesting and very important topic for today's show, in which it is um, New York City fire marshals need to go back to doing uh, annual fire safety hazard building inspections uh, for all apartment buildings throughout all of NYC. So let's get right into this topic, okay? Um, about a day or so ago, New York City Mayor Eric Adams stipulated, and it was on, the news and everything, and he was in front of all the reporters and stuff, and he said, and this was his words, that for New York City economy, it is fully back and fully running at pre-pandemic levels, right? And I say, great, whatever. That's fantastic news and stuff. But here's the other thing: if that's the full truth, then um, I, I'm going to say this first. According to the website of uh, New York City Fire Department, it stipulates that starting as of 2021, which was like 2 years ago and stuff, uh, it stipulates that as of 2021, the FDNY, the fire marshals, were no longer going to do annual fire safety hazard building inspections, right? And because that was like the beginning of COVID at that time, and stuff. And especially because of that, they stopped the annual fire safety hazard building inspections for all apartment buildings throughout all of NYC, right? So now that the New York City Mayor Eric Adams stipulated that everything is back to pre-pandemic levels and stuff like that, the economy within New York City is fully back and up and running, whatever. Then, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's important to bring back annual fire safety hazard building inspections to be done by the FDNY fire marshals. This is not something to laugh about or to play around with, you know, because fire safety hazard building inspections are to save the lives for people, living in apartment buildings and stuff, especially for people with little children, elderly people, people with disabilities. It's so important to do annual. Actually, let me scratch that. It's important to do proper annual fire safety hazard building inspections. It's really important to get to go back to doing that, because you have the lives and safety of so many people. Like I said, especially the little children, elderly people, and people with disabilities. So, um, but a lot of landlords are against this happening, to go back to doing annual fire safety hazard building inspections. There's a lot of rich people who don't want that to happen again. But let me tell you something. Here's what I was taught growing up. If you didn't do anything wrong, if you didn't screw up, if you didn't have fire hazard issues being done, then you have nothing to worry about if there's an annual fire safety hazard building inspection. If you're not doing anything wrong, then you have nothing to hide. Then, if an inspector comes around, the only people that don't want these inspectors coming around are the ones that are allowing fire safety hazard being done, in their buildings or whatever, and they don't want to get caught. That's what I was taught growing up. So screw the rich people, screw whatever landlords don't want these inspections being done, because you know what? You're talking about more important things, which are the lives and the safety of innocent people, especially, like I said, especially little children, elderly people, and people with disabilities. So it's so important that we go back to doing annual fire safety hazard building inspections, for the FDNY fire marshal to do that. So anyways, I contacted New York City Mayor Eric Adams' office to discuss this. No reply back. No nothing. So I contacted my local councilman's office. And guess what? Next day, I got a reply back from his office. So, being the advocate that I am for over 30 years, I'm working together with the local councilman's office to have the FDNY fire marshals go back to doing annual fire safety hazard building inspections for all apartment buildings throughout all of NYC. And I truly believe that my local councilman will more than most likely, bring this up to the New York City Council for, to have more council members join in on this and to work together with the New York City FDNY to get this issue corrected for all apartment buildings throughout all of NYC. And hopefully, we'll have the backing of New York City Mayor Eric Adams' office on this as well. And to have his office or him to stipulate on the news, just like he did with everything else, that New York City officials, like the New York City FDNY Fire Marshal's office, will go back to doing annual fire safety hazard building inspections. And because the New York City Buildings Department, the regular buildings department, they're back to doing annual inspections. So why can't the New York City Fire Marshal do the same thing? And here's the other thing, ladies and gentlemen. If this doesn't happen, if we keep the fire marshals, to say, like, if you want an inspection, you got to call it in, and request it. And then what exactly are the fire marshals doing all day long and getting paid for it? It's just something to think about. If you're not doing any building inspections, let's just say if nobody calls in to request a building inspection from the FDNY, what are the fire marshals doing all day long? Think about it. But anyways, I want to remind all my fans out there about the business that my husband and I have together called AWLDNY. The link to there is awldny.com. You guys can check out all the items on there. And I also want to remind all my fans out there about my other business, my other website that I have called Advocate Information Highway. And the link to there is AIHNY.com. Again, that is AIHNY.com. And you guys can check out all the pages on there. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.